I think it's no secret that I love K-beauty. And if you love K-beauty too, don't forget to hit subscribe. But in all seriousness, I love K-beauty and I show no signs of getting off of this K-beauty roller coaster, right? Just because I love K-beauty though does not mean that it's always like rainbows and puppies, right? Like sometimes there are certain things that brands do that just drive me crazy. And it runs the gamut from mild annoyance to just straight up hashtag triggered. So give this video a big thumbs up because today I'm spilling the tea. I'm telling you guys the 4 things that K-beauty brands do that just drive me nuts. And by the way, this is not exclusive to K-beauty. You could probably take these 4 things that I'm about to say and apply it to any skincare across the globe. I mean, honestly, this is just probably an issue with the cosmetics industry. But I'm gonna speak from my K-beauty experience and perspective and have my K-beauty examples. But I think that these are just issues that cosmetic companies do in general. Okay, so annoyance number 1 is really expensive products with really cheap ingredients. There's a lot of examples of this in the K-beauty market, but also just in Western beauty too. You'll see this a lot. Really expensive products with, you know, I mean, here's the thing. We all have our individual ingredients that we prefer to avoid, but I'm just talking about ingredients that are super like cheap to use and maybe to a certain extent can sort of lead to lazy formulation. This is my opinion. I'm just putting it out there. The ingredient that really comes to mind for me is alcohol. You know, I prefer to avoid fragrance in skincare, but I understand why they're being used in expensive skincare products. And at the end of the day, artificial fragrance to me is not as problematic as, say, alcohol, which a lot of people do prefer to avoid because it really can be drying on the skin. Now, alcohol definitely has a benefit to a skincare formulation beyond just drying your skin out, right? Because we think about alcohol and we think about, oh, my skin's gonna be dry. It's not necessarily there to just strip your skin of oil or to mattify your skin, right? Alcohol actually has a formulation benefit because it can help those beneficial ingredients penetrate your skin better. It is a penetration enhancer in skincare, and we need that in formulas because if you're not getting those beneficial ingredients deep into your skin, they're not effective. I am not contesting that by any means. Alcohol can definitely play that role in formulation. Alcohol also has the additional benefit of helping especially cream products dry down faster, moisturizers and sunscreens particularly. I mean, some of the best sunscreens that are super moisturizing, you'd be shocked, but to find that there's alcohol in there, but it makes sense because you do not want like a super moisturizing sunscreen to take 30 minutes to dry down so that you can put your makeup on, right? So it makes sense why they're there, and it's not always there to dry your skin out, and not every alcohol formulation does, by the way. I just want to lay all the cards on the table. That doesn't mean that I'm not annoyed to see it in $100 serum though. Why is it in a $100 serum? Because here's the thing, I generally regard alcohol as a very cheap way to get the job done, right? It's a very easy way to throw some alcohol into the formula and now we've got a penetration enhancer, right? We've got a formulation that all of a sudden just absorbs deeper because there's alcohol. This may be a very simple kind of like view of this, but if I'm gonna pony up $100 for a serum, I'd like to be assured that the company behind this $100 serum has also ponied up the time and money to formulate something the best way possible. And just to me, I feel like alcohol or other cheap ingredients, particularly silicones, tend to be a really big offender in expensive products as well. It just feels like a really cheap way to go about formulating an expensive product. So the next annoyance that I want to talk about is one that I think has become a big issue in K-beauty recently, and that is the use of the phrase artificial fragrance free. Not just the phrase itself. The phrase itself is fine. It's when that phrase is used as a code word. When artificial fragrance free is code for we use essential oils, right? We've seen this a lot and it frustrates me to no end because it's so misleading. Now, let me just put the warning out there that I am not bringing this up particularly because I want to say essential oils are bad in skincare. I personally choose to avoid them. That is a whole nother topic, by the way. The reason I wanted to bring this up and why I really do get frustrated with this is because it's misleading. It's misleading consumers, and I think that that can be dangerous. So let me tell you, there has definitely been a backlash in fragrance in K-beauty like recently, and I don't really know where that roots from. But what I can tell you from my personal experience is purely anecdotal, by the way, but it is something that I have noticed. I've been into K-beauty since like 2011, 2012, but I really did not use products with essential oils in them until late 2017 when I started to use Klairs products. Prior to 2017, I'd never really had an essential oil in my skincare routine before. I think there was one product and that's it. They just weren't commonly used until recently. And there has got to be some kind of tie between that whole, and this is a global movement, by the way, that whole like natural is better. Have you guys noticed that there's been like a really big movement towards, natural is better, artificial is bad, because all of a sudden we don't want artificial fragrance in our products. We want natural fragrance. Look, here's the thing. It's like you want to ask these companies like, why can't it just be fragrance free? Why can you not like just put no fragrance at all in the product? Why does it have to be now it's natural fragrance? How about just no fragrance? That would be the dream, right? Okay, here's the reason why some products just can't be fragrance free. Raw skincare ingredients don't smell good. A lot of them actually smell bad. And the thing is, if you were just to formulate a skincare product just for effectiveness alone, you might end up with something that stinks. Like just downright stinks. And that would turn a lot of people off from buying a stinky product, right? Ooh, let me put on this serum that smells of stinky, dirty feet, right? No, a lot of people actually would not buy a product if it smelled like dirty, stinky feet. So one of the easiest ways to do this, to get the most effective formula possible, which potentially has like a funky odor to it, is to hide the funky odor with fragrance, right? It makes sense. Most people read artificial fragrance free and they delete the word artificial and they just read it as fragrance free. And this is an issue for people who avoid fragrance for a couple of reasons, right? Number one, most people prefer fragrance-free products because they do have sensitive skin, right? Artificial fragrance can sometimes cause issues with sensitive skin. So most people who are avoiding fragrance to begin with and would be attracted to the wording of artificial fragrance-free, right? Have sensitive skin. And if you are using a product that is artificial fragrance free but contains essential oils, you are still exposing yourself to irritating fragrancing compounds in those skincare products. So you haven't really avoided what you thought you were avoiding, which is irritating fragrance. Essential oils at the end of the day are fragrance, and they do have irritating compounds to them. I'm not going to go into this, by the way. This would be a really long video if I did. The second thing that I think it's that we're not considering, like I said, when people delete the word artificial and they just see fragrance free in this, are people who are scent sensitive. And that is meaning people who cannot handle heavily scented products for whatever reason. Sometimes they will trigger allergies, and sometimes they will trigger like migraine headaches. So if you think you're getting an artificial fragrance-free product, which we know does not mean scent-free, but a lot of like just normal people might think that also means scent-free, will be in for a really, really bad surprise when they start sneezing like crazy, their nasal passages block up, and they get a migraine headache. So this is why I have a problem with this wording, because it's slightly irresponsible, right? Because it can actually harm people in the end. And I really wish that there was a better way to go about selling products without claiming like artificial fragrance free, which has a lot of misunderstanding around it. It's just something that I feel is very misleading and potentially harmful for people. Okay, annoyance number 3 is when the star ingredient, usually proclaimed in the name of the product, right? when the star ingredient plays little to no part in the ingredients list. Oh yeah, we have all been burned by this one, haven't we? This is so frustrating when there's like a star ingredient. It's like we have star ingredient X, Y, and Z. You turn that bottle over and you look at the ingredients list, and star ingredient X, Y, and Z is like the second to last ingredient listed. Yeah, that really drives me crazy, and I know it drives you crazy too. It's frustrating. And really, the best way for me to illuminate my frustration about this is to give you guys two examples with products here. So the number one example that I have is of a star ingredient not even being on the ingredients list at all. And just a quick warning, I am not saying that this product is bad by any means. I actually happen to love this product, but I hate this product's name. This is the CosRx Ultimate Moisturizing Honey Overnight Mask. This freaking product has no honey in it. I hate the name of this product. Okay, so they're calling it a honey overnight mask, but it uses 87% propolis extract. Propolis is not honey, okay, you guys? Propolis is not honey. This is a really big annoyance that I have. Okay, so propolis is a honeybee product. Propolis is basically a substance that honeybees produce as bee glue. It's what holds the hive together. It's basically the glue. It's like the mortar for their bricks, right? This is what creates the hive. That's what propolis is. Honey is a whole different thing that honeybees create. So yes, it's kind of coming from the same place, similar benefits, but it's literally like me saying, do you want a chocolate bar? And you're like, yes, I am craving the taste of smooth, velvety, melt in your mouth chocolate. And I hand you cacao powder. I think I know why CosRx did this, and I don't think that they were doing this maliciously, because CosRx is not stupid. They know that anybody can just turn over the bottle and read the ingredients list and find that honey extract is nowhere to be found, right? They're not like intentionally misleading you, but they are trying to sell products, right? And I think the reason why they did this particularly is because they're trying to appeal to an international audience. Now, if you've followed CosRx, you would know that when CosRx kind of first hit the scene, they actually were not popular in Korea. CosRx is definitely a brand that gained popularity in the international K-beauty space. And even though this product is a little bit older, CosRx has definitely had their eyes on the international market for a long time, because, you know, we're the ones who made them really successful. So I have a feeling that, you know, like, if I was a fly on the wall of the CosRx boardroom when they were like naming this product, it was most likely due to the fact that the international crowd doesn't really know what propolis is. It's just not that well known of an ingredient outside of Korea, probably. And everybody recognizes honey. Everybody knows what honey is, and everybody associates honey with, you know, being a great skincare ingredient. I'm thinking that is why they called this a honey mask, just to sell more units. I don't think that they're trying to be like, yes, there's honey in it. No, there's not honey in it. Anybody can read the ingredients list and find out that there's no honey in this product. Now, another one that I want to give as an example is an example of the star ingredient playing little part in the overall formulation or the overall benefits of the product. So I am talking about the Wish Trend polyphenols in propolis 15% ampule. Again, I am not bashing this product by any means whatsoever, but my frustration with this product is the name, because again, this is another issue of misleading people with marketing here. This says that it has 15% propolis in it, which, okay, first of all, if this is a propolis ampule, 15% is like nothing. First of all, let's talk about that. Talk about star ingredient being in a smaller quantity, right? Okay, so there's that. But if you look into this a little bit closer, you will start to realize why I'm kind of frustrated with the product name. Because yes, it's got 15% of propolis in it, but it also has 59% of an ingredient not everybody has heard of. And this might be the issue here, right? This ingredient is called Houttenia cordata extract, which, who wants to call it the 59% Houttenia extract ampule? I get it. But let's talk about this because this Hutania, I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. That is another reason why it's not in the name, right? This is actually a great ingredient. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's antibacterial. It's got antioxidant benefits. It's an astringent ingredient. It's excellent for acne-prone skin. But it's not propolis. And if it's making up 59% of this serum, propolis, by the way, number 2 ingredient. So they're not too far off there. But because there's so much of this Hutania in here, this is making this a much more astringent type of formulation. This has definitely got some similar benefits to propolis, but I'm particularly thinking here the fact that Hutania is not going to be very moisturizing. And we know propolis to be a little bit more balancing to the skin, a little bit more moisturizing. A lot of people with drier skin goes towards propolis because it is very nourishing for the skin. This serum's not though. This ampule is not. And I've just read so many countless reviews of people being disappointed with this product because they're like, it didn't hydrate my skin, it didn't moisturize my skin. And I'm like, how can it with 59% of this Hutania in it? But because of the name, you have expectations. And so it's frustrating to me because this feels misleading. I would never have named an ampule the Hutania ampule. Never. It's just not a good name. It will lead to consumer disappointment at some point, right? When you find out this has no honey in it, you might be mad, right? And when you find out that this doesn't have that much propolis in it and it's actually more astringent than you expected it to be, it's disappointing. Not only that, but there is a really big culture, and you notice that both these products were about propolis. There's a really big culture around like propolis is honey. Propolis is it's not honey. But there's a lot of misinformation being spread by the brands that they're really trying to connect in your mind that propolis is honey. And I've noticed this particularly with the Tu So Wong sheet mask. Their propolis sheet mask is a really great example of this. It's called propolis sheet mask. So good on you, Tu So Wong, for naming your product correctly. But look at the packaging. Behind it is a picture of honey. It's just misleading and people are getting the wrong idea about ingredients, and that's what frustrates me. Okay, and annoyance number 4 is missing or incomplete ingredients lists. This is the reason why I wanted to film this video. There has been 2 incidences with the exact same brand quite recently that, you know what, it frustrated me so much. It just made me so quite frankly angry. It made me really angry that I couldn't hold back. I don't have a solution to this at all, but I just really felt like it needed to be known. So what the heck is she talking about? First incident happened with my K-Beauty This or That 3 video. I think it was 3, where I compared the I'm From Mugwort with the Misha Artemisia essence, right? In that video, I incorrectly stated that the I'm From Mugwort essence is not fermented. And that is an incorrect statement because this is fermented. Now let me tell you how I learned this and why this is an issue to me. Some really astute, fabulous subscribers did point this out to me, that it is fermented. I did most of my research for my video on Wish Trend, which is like the official retailer of I'm From. And nowhere on the Wish Trend website did it say that this was treated in a fermented process at all. And I was kind of shocked to think that Wish Trend had omitted that, even by mistake, right? So I did reach out to Wish Trend to ask them about this. And they confirmed to me that the material that is provided to them by the brand. So I'm From creates basically like a media kit essentially for all of their product listings and provides that to the retailers. And then the retailers put that up on their website. And in all the information they were given about this particular product, nowhere did it state that this was treated with in a fermentation process. So I did contact I'm From on Instagram, and it took me a while to get a response from them. And the response was basically, it's fermented and we made a mistake. It's not in our marketing materials that we provide to the retailers. We'll fix that. That in itself wasn't that big of a deal because if you I mean, at the end of the day, like, it is on the box, right? It was not part of the written materials that they provided the retailers, but it is part of the images that they provided to the retailers. I'm particularly speaking about like the images you see when you scroll through Yes Style product listings. You know how they have pictures that will have text and stuff on them. But because Wishtrend doesn't use that type of marketing, it wasn't included in any of the text on that website. That information should be clearly stated and easily read by anybody, right? And it's just not there. I mean, am I embarrassed that I said something wrong? Yeah, I am, because I take pride in trying to provide the very best information that I possibly can. So it is frustrating on my end that I didn't really have all the tools available. But, you know, it's nothing to grill somebody on, right? Okay, but then something else happened, and that is why I was like, #triggered, we are making a video about this. So in my Yes Style haul that I did in the end of August, I had told you guys that I picked up the I'm From Ginseng Eye Cream, which is a brand new release. I think it just came out this summer. And I said in that video, the reason why I purchased this specifically is because the ingredients list did not have fragrance on it. And that's just something that I didn't want to have. But because it was an unfragranced product, I did buy it. Now, of course, this product does have a scent to it. That is something different, by the way. It does have a scent to it, but I just figured it didn't include essential oils or fragrance in it, so it must just be a natural fragrance coming from the extracts included in the cream. You can definitely get a strong scent off of a product just from extracts alone. It is possible. However, thanks to another great astute subscriber, they pointed out that they had just gone through this issue too. Nowhere online does it state that this eye cream has fragrance. Not one retailer has an ingredients list that lists fragrance. And yet, if you look at the box, which is really tiny and really faint print, the very last ingredient listed is fragrance. I checked this on Yes Style. I checked this on Wishtrend, two of my most trusted retailers for I'm From products. And none of the ingredients lists say fragrance. Not only that, the ingredients list listed on Yes Style is an image. This is an image that the brand makes and provides to their retailers. It's an image. So that means that it would have had to gone through a couple of different people's hands and eyes to be approved before it is sent off to retailers. They have an image of their ingredients list with no fragrance on it. The written text on wishtrend.com has no fragrance. Now, as a consumer, I am frustrated that I spent money on a product I thought was fragrance-free and spent 2-3 weeks putting this on my face and there's fragrance in it. I didn't have any issues with it, thank goodness, but what I'm saying is it's frustrating to me as a consumer having spent money on a product that deceived me. Look, it's an honor for me to be somebody who you rely on for product recommendations, right? I take that role seriously. I don't take it lightly. I really want to provide the very best information for you possible and the best reviews possible with all the information possible. So as somebody who is in a position to recommend products, who has like a voice, right, in this community, how can I feel comfortable talking about a product from them when I can't trust that the sources of information that I have are correct? You know, I mean, if I'm going to even go so far as to buy a new product from them, how can I know that I'm not buying something with fragrance in it? Because they may or may not be withholding that information from online marketing. Yes, the information is on the box, but you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel comfortable going that far with them right now. So it's kind of a Debbie Downer way to end the video, right? I feel like I was like all fired up. I was like at 90 and it just went right? I got kind of sad. But that's just really how I feel about it. I particularly wanted to bring this up because I think that everybody should be aware of the situation with these two particular products. I'm not accusing the brand of anything. I don't know the intentions behind it. I don't know if these are innocent mistakes or what. But I do think that this is important that we understand the situation, particularly behind these two products, which are products that you've seen me talk about before and use. I want that information out there and clear, that you may not be able to have access to all of the ingredients with this brand before purchasing them. And that to me is an issue. I don't think that this is the only brand that is guilty of this though. This is just the one that I know of that inspired me to make this video. So now it's your turn to tell me, what are your particular annoyances with K-beauty or with particular brands in general? Let me know the ones that really fire you up in the comment box below. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, but you absolutely love K-beauty, please consider subscribing. I release 2 new Korean skincare focused videos every single week. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss when I upload that new video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I cannot wait to see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.